Yeah, the Fox was definitely in the hen house against Lebanon, 48-4. The Kangaroos winning their quarter final. Oh, now the one they've all been gearing up for this entire tournament, the semi-final against the Kiwis. This has been on the radar for a long time. It happened Saturday morning. Are the Kangaroos locked and loaded, team-wise, or are the selection headaches still plaguing the coach? I know he's been under the weather since we last spoke. Let's head to Manchester. Mel Meninga, very good morning to you, or good evening. Mel, how are you feeling, first and foremost? You okay?
Yeah, no, getting better, Ben. Thank you very much. It's been a tough few days with cold and flu and dizziness and things like that, but I'm getting over it at the moment, so that's really good. And we had a good win last Friday, so that sort of makes up for it all.
Mate, you did. Now, when someone in camp with a team being so close-knit and tight goes down with illness, it can spread pretty quickly. And anyone else affected?
Oh, yeah, there's been, to be honest with you, most teams over here have been affected by flu and cold. The weather's obviously not conducive to Australian conditions. So we had a bit of gastro through the week, to young Nathan Cleary and Cameron Munster as well, just the lead up to the game. And so, so we're not sort of alone at the moment, but we're getting over it all. I'm sort of at the back end of it all. I mean, most of the team has had some sort of symptoms around the cold and flu since we've been here, to be honest with you.
How are they all now, and how are they looking heading into the biggest match so far of the tournament?
Really, really healthy, Ben. Obviously, we didn't get too many niggly. We had a couple of niggly injuries on Friday, just bumps and bruises and corks and stuff like that. But aside from all that, mate, we're really healthy, to be honest with you. No flus and colds at all. We've got 24 healthy players, and I've got to pick another 17, going into the New Zealand game.
Get into that in just a moment. What did the Lebanon match tell you? What did you take away from that?
Oh, once again, really happy with defence. So our attitude's been fantastic. Right through the whole tournament so far. So defensively, really good. They put us under a bit more pressure than all the other teams did. So, and our systems held up really well. We're obviously going to be tested defensively this week coming up. We're a bit clunky with the footy. I think I mentioned that in the after match sort of conference. I think we got a way of playing, and we're really confident in that. We just got a bit excited about space and things like that, and didn't execute as well as we possibly can. Made some poor decisions with the football, and we made a few errors. So we obviously want to cut that down, leading to our next game.
Well, yeah, you can't afford to be clunky or get it wrong at a semi-final stage, can you?
No, it's more an execution thing. So we got really excited about, because the things we're doing really well. So what we ask them around how we want to play, we're doing that well. But then off the back of that, there's some opportunities that are starting to present itself, and we didn't quite get the ball into the right space, and our kicking game probably let us down a little bit as well. So all those little things that we need to get right. We want to play the game down in their half a bit more. We found ourselves sort of defending our line a bit more last Friday, but all that sort of stuff excites us because we need the practice, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, see, I'm just thinking now as you were saying all that, I mean, some may argue that, well, hang on, you keep chopping and changing the team, you keep experimenting, you haven't got those combos there. Devil's advocate, as you know.
No, it's just not that. I just think that we got, like I said before, we got a bit excited, and we probably lacked a bit of composure. If we want to be ruthless in the way we play, if we want to, win a World Cup, we've got to think like that. We've got to just get in that grind and grind a good victory out, and not go beyond all that. So we, like I said, we made a lot of errors on the back of passes going to a player that was under pressure. So. That's just a decision thing and execution thing. So once the player drops the ball, we turn the ball over, So we just like to have completed a lot better than what we did. We're completed under about low 70s, which is, you can't win a World Cup, doing that.
It is Mal Meninga Monday, as it is every Monday here on SENQ. Mal, the Kangaroos coach, live from Manchester. Mate, have you settled on a team? Are you locked and loaded? Do you pick and stick, or do you have to now pick a fresh team for the Kiwis, which will throw a hell of a lot more at you than Lebanon, especially in size?
We'll stick in. We'll pick and stick. So we've just got a couple of things we want to have a look at from our bench point of view. I think I mentioned to you last week. I'm pretty comfortable with our starting 13. So I think that works really well. We've got Regan Campbell-Gillard perhaps to come back into the 13, and Benny Hunt's back this week because we rested him. So probably a couple of players might miss out this week because. And I'm pretty keen on getting those two involved. And we're just going to look at our bench. I think I mentioned to you last week, we just maybe go with an all-forward bench this week, to obviously counteract, the big forwards and the quality of the New Zealand pack.
All forwards, is that all big forward? Actually, it wouldn't be, would it, if you're talking about getting Ben Hunt back in there?
Yeah, no, exactly. No, but Ben's, that's his position now. So he's 9 in this tour. So him and it's no secret that they work really well together. Ben and Harry, they did really well at Origin level, and they've done very well in the first couple of games together. So we just kept that going, and I just given them some game time. I gave Ben 80 minutes the week before, and Harry this week. So they're fit and raring to go. So. At this stage, I would think that both will be playing, but we've got another 24 hours to make a decision.
So you fight fire with fire when it comes to size. You want your biggest bodies out there?
Well, we want big bodies, but we also want bodies that got good, great work ethic. So I think with the Australian sides, we've got a work ethic, I think, that can hold up really well under pressure. The Cameron Murrays of this world gives you a really good example. Who deserve to be in the footy team, but players like that ilk, I think, come into calculation because that they'll just keep working really hard. I just think that we just got to get that balance right of size, but versatility, good strong footwork, quick play of the balls, all those sort of things that you need, your players to do to win the ground when you're playing certainly against the bigger forwards of New Zealand.
Daly Cherry Evans, he played a big part for you considering you lost James Tedesco against Lebanon. He's the obvious one to make way for Ben Hunt. And that's a leading statement, yes.
Yeah, it is. It is. So like I said, I think I like the combinations of Harry and Ben, but I've played Cherry Evans at 14 in the Queensland side, and he did a terrific job too, and we had him sort of earmarked if Harry needed a rest or whatever to come and play 9 last weekend, but as you mentioned, we got James Tedesco got a cork, so we had to use him at 5'8", put Cameron Munster back to fullback. So he's doing everything right. Ches, he's just the ultimate professional. He's been really great around the group. He's been, very helpful to, Nathan Cleary as well. So he's been extraordinarily good through the whole tour. It's just difficult, to leave him out all the bloody time.
I can understand that. Now I'm just going through your pack. Lindsay Collins, big unit, and him and Jared Wahira-Hargraves. I mean, that's master and apprentice stuff, isn't it? Those two going head to head.
It is. So, it is. I think, Regan Campbell, when we talk about experience, Regan Campbell-Gillard's obviously a standout, and we've got Jakey Trbojevic, who's an outstanding player. I think Pat Carrigan's, played really well over here in the time that he's been on the footy field. We've got Big Tino, Fasul Mali, and obviously you got Lindsay, So we got Reuben Cotter, who is no slouch either. So we've got those 6 guys that are pushing for that middle spot. There's 2 starting spots and probably 2 on the bench. So we've got 6 guys pushing for 4 spots. So who
misses out,
and everyone's in good form.
Who misses out? Who misses out then?
Well, that's the dilemma, isn't it? So if Regan goes back in, who misses out?
Yes.
That's the dilemma.
Could Patrick
What's
Carrigan,
that, sorry, mate?
Could Patrick Carrigan be an unlucky...
Oh, I think Pat's probably playing too well to miss out, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So, we probably... If you look at things, we probably got 1 spot out of 3 players. So, again, that's another task that I've got to work my mind through and then make the right decision. But they're all there's 2 big bodies obviously, and then there's a worker like in Ruben Cotter. So, so it's, I just got to make my mind up there whether I'll go with a couple of big boppers or do I put a worker on as well who won't let the team down and will just keep on hounding the poor old, Kiwi forwards forever and a day.
See, I'm trying to decipher your messages here, Mal, because you've talked up Cameron Murray, and as you should, he's been brilliant. But do he and Patrick Carrigan almost cancel each other out in that worker ethic, in that just going to keep coming all day, Mr. Perpetual Motion?
Well, that's what you got to make a decision on. So then you do one big bopper on the bench, who you might need through a game. So with Cameron and Patrick's not small, put it that way.
Oh no,
he's not a small character, and it worked for us pretty well, I thought, against Lebanon. Where those two jumped on after the Big Tino and Jakey Zvojevic come off, and I thought that they kept that momentum going. There's quick play of the ball, and we scored some pretty quick tries. Cameron Murray just scored 2 quick tries himself, didn't he, in the first half there, so the back end of the first half. So it's like I said, it's just making the right decision, getting the balance right against the opposition we're playing against. And they'll have some big forwards, and we've got to make sure if the smaller body, we pick a smaller body because of their versatility and because of their mobility and their quick play of the ball. But can they handle the size of the Kiwi forwards?
See, I'm trying to decipher your messages here, Mal, because you've talked up Cameron Murray, and as you should, he's been brilliant. But do he and Patrick Carrigan almost cancel each other out in that worker ethic, in that just going to keep coming all day, Mr. Perpetual Motion?
Well, that's what you got to make a decision on. So then you do one big bopper on the bench, who you might need through a game. So with Cameron and Patrick's not small, put it that way.
Oh no,
he's not a small character, and it worked for us pretty well, I thought, against Lebanon. Where those two jumped on after the Big Tino and Jakey Zvojevic come off, and I thought that they kept that momentum going. There's quick play of the ball, and we scored some pretty quick tries. Cameron Murray just scored 2 quick tries himself, didn't he, in the first half there, so the back end of the first half. So it's like I said, it's just making the right decision, getting the balance right against the opposition we're playing against. And they'll have some big forwards, and we've got to make sure if the smaller body, we pick a smaller body because of their versatility and because of their mobility and their quick play of the ball. But can they handle the size of the Kiwi forwards and tackle them out of the game, as an example? So those are sort of things we need to address, and we're currently going through that, having a look at all our vision. Obviously the Kiwis played just yesterday, so we're just going through all that at the moment. We'll have some feedback off our senior players as well about what they feel about going into the game against the Kiwis, and we all will settle on what we think is the best combination to play that game.
See, just when I thought you were going to go one way, Mel, you've parried back and stepped back inside and have just made things about as clear as porridge. So I love that. Hey, quick one before we go. If you take care of the Kiwis, and I know that's the expectation, if that happens, who do you play in the final, England or Samoa? Yeah,
it was a fantastic game. We watched it here today, and the Samoans are great, so I thought they were the best team, definitely. Their halves were excellent. I found, probably Anthony Milford's his best game for a long, long time. And obviously Luai was very good, and I thought their 2 props in Papali and Junior Paulo were really good as well. So hopefully they'll have Junior Paulo next week, the Samoans, plus like Joseph Suwali, lifted a knee today as well. So it'll be interesting to see whether those 2 players play next week. The Poms are going great, Ben, honestly. They made an easy job of the Kummels on the weekend. I would think, just the way everyone's playing, I would think that the English are probably favourites going into that game. They're playing down in London, enormous stadium. We've got great support over here. Everyone's talking them up. They're all very confident, all good players. So I would think if we go through, and we could, it's no simple task for us, but I think we might be playing the English.